Hey everyone, so in this third Wwise tutorial, what we're going to be talking about are segments and how you can use segments. Segments basically are an interactive music structure within Wwise, and so first thing I'm going to do is open up Wwise, create a new project, put it on my desktop. I don't need these plugins, so I'm going to select none and then hit OK. I'm going to ignore my license for now because this is just a demonstration. I'm going to make sure to go up to my Layouts menu and choose Interactive Music. And then I'm going to create some segments. First one I'll do is just create one segment, call it segment 1, and then create another one, and I'll call that segment 2. And I'm doing this just by right-clicking, and I can go over here, and also whenever I select something over in my hierarchy, I can actually view the properties over here and rename things and set some general settings. We'll get into that in a second. So in my first segment that I have, I want to make sure to import a WAV file to that. So again, WAV files go onto tracks. If I go ahead and just drag onto the into the segment down here, nothing happens. If I drag up here, what I can do is actually import into the file itself, and you can see that in my segment 1 I've imported and it created a new track for me when I drag that WAV file onto the segment itself. I'm going to go ahead and just zoom out and set my loop markers to the end. Now this is the first thing that we're going to start exploring inside of Wwise with regards to segments. Segments have a single loop associated with them. So if I need to, each track itself, any tracks that I have in here will all respond to the same loop points. So if you need multiple loop points, you have to do that in multiple segments. Also, one of the other things that you'll notice is that the settings for a segment, when I go into the segment itself, they have a single tempo and a single time signature. So this piece, this drum piece that I inserted, basically just has 120 beats per minute, and it's in 4/4. Now, if you're using multiple time signatures or multiple tempos in a segment, there's a different way to sort of handle that, which we'll get to in a few minutes. Right now, we just want to deal with the loop beginning, and the loop end is static for all the tracks in the segment. Okay. Next, segments can contain markers. So I can go up here and add new custom markers. And those custom markers are called cues. So I could say, I could insert that and rename the cue start point. And I could have multiple start points in my piece. Now this is really useful for creating variety in your game. So I might begin on phrase 1 the first time, and I begin on phrase 3 the next time. So I can create multiple start points. These are just markers within my file. Okay, and I can put them wherever I want. Or vice versa, I can actually put in a custom cue that would say phrase ending. And that could be useful if I want to create a music structure that waits for the phrase to end before transitioning into another piece of music. So these are the properties that you have within a music segment. Again, if I go to a second music segment, it's going to contain its own structure with multiple tracks. And so I can bring in, for instance, a different track, a different WAV file onto the track with inside that segment, and that will have its own loop points, and it will have its own tempo and its own custom markers. A couple other things about segments that you may want to look at. Segments themselves have other parameters up here with regards to the volume of the segment, but the track also has its own volume. So the new music track here has its own volume, and then the segment has another corresponding volume. These chain within one another. So a music track goes to a segment, which then goes to a playlist, which then goes to a switch. That's kind of the overall hierarchy that we're going through. After these segments, we're going to start talking about playlists, which will be in our next video. Okay, that's it for this video. See you on the other side.